Christian nasty.
Liquid smoke, black water, Rain Man, make it flow. Where it goes, nobody knows. Trickery, slippery like money. Down the rabbit hole you go. Take a little mushroom. Speakers on Zoom. The shit we spit is fire. It's going up tonight. They like to get real high. 2 puffs smoke in your eyes. Dirty in the ride. Flying through the night. Fuck what you heard, this shit's the chronic. It'll make you puke and vomit. Here comes the comet. You can't outrun it. Jump it. My laser beams are solar. A real rock and roller. Paul's boutique so long. Zombie junkin'. Horror films get them high. For the me on mine.
Welcome back to Lady Babylon. This is and you tonight. I'm going to bring on your instructor after we have a short, just kind of an explosion. Tonight we're going to go in and I'm going to show you the naughty. I'm going to show you the Christian Eucharist played out face to face, right from the text. Maybe somewhere along the way we'll figure out what exactly they're doing. P. Delicious. He did not say that. No, he didn't. Hail Satan. That's right. That's right. Hey, Jack. Hail Satan. Hail Satan, everyone, to the congregation. Before we start, I want to make a note to people out there who are, doing great things, making art, bringing back the blessings of ancient Greek knowledge, just using it. Thank you. Thank you for giving your time to those dead people. To those dead people, it's fantastic. We bring back civilization, right? Hail and you. Yeah, right. Exactly. What do we got going, by the way, at and you? For the people who are out there like, what? We've got a couple of new classes starting for Aussies and Kiwis. Yeah, shout out. Shout out to the folks out there who will be starting intensive Greek. We've got 2 sessions coming up. One starts tomorrow, which for you people is the future. Fantastic. I love it. What do? We teach people the language, and the people then go out and use the language in their own personal narratives of glory. And they end up people like Tom Jefferson, right? It's a great honor to give Mother Greek those birthing rights and to see what the human brain was meant to do. Oh, God, it's gorgeous. Love it. Are we going to have the blue fog tonight, Chewy? Seriously? Are we going to have the blue fog? Is the blue fog's too much tonight? Look, people are going to be calling me Bluebeard. Let's change the ambiance. Oh, yeah, no. Oh, hey, that flashing. No. Hey, there we go. That's the comfortable red glare of hell. Hail Satan. Don't you love it? Don't you love it? It's such a nice, Chewy, we're playing, aren't we, tonight? Okay, let's get the first text up there because I want people, look, I've got the Eucharist. Are you ready to watch the Eucharist? I'm going to be giving you these sources from 2 Christian writers, right? Writing the Acts of Thomas and the Acts of Philip. You're going to love this stuff, right? So that's where your sources are. We're going to look through the eyes of the ancient Christians, and we're going to see what they were doing. And when it gets naughty, don't act surprised, because I've been telling you this for the longest time. For the longest time, people are out there saying, "Oh, preposterous, ooh, preposterous." I love when the muse does that. I love when your mind becomes so deranged that you think you can look evidence in the face, an ancient text, and say, "Banish thee from my brain." Yes, you can't do that, people. That's why. One of the things that people are appreciating, yes, I agree. I agree very much, Daphne. For everyone. Spankings for everyone. I agree. Everyone around, right? This is a party, man. When you go and people start delivering spankings, you know you've come to a Bacchic renaissance. Fantastic. Love it. Look, people, I'm going to pull this dirty material. Right. As a matter of fact, give me a second. I'm going to go close. Who left it open? You know, Jung can get through that crack. Hang on a second, people. Jung can get through that crack. Yes. Oh, God, what does he do? Oh. Back. Oh. Here we go. Sorry for that. I'm going to conjure an image for you first of all tonight. This is contemporary with the writings that we're going to be looking at. These freaked up writings. We're going right into a Christian P. Diddy party. And I know people are saying, stop with the P. Diddy. Stop with the Akhenaten. Stop. It's too much. People can't help it. It's what the texts say. Dude was arrested in a public park with a naked kid. Tonight, we're going to see what Jesus Christ, that's the person we're talking about. Give us a picture, Chewy. Give us the picture. Where's Jesus? Right? What was he doing? It was one of them. Right? Okay. Here. Okay. We caught him in a certain moment, right? Right? Don't try to. Okay. This is what we're talking about. We're going right into it. I'm going to show you right out of the text. Again tonight, I'm going to show you what kind of freaky P. Diddy stuff is going on. Don't worry. It's just, look, if you're going to understand Jesus Christ, you've got to understand what was happening in that park with that kid at that party. Do you understand? If you don't, poor Justin Bieber. Let's go for it. First, I want to cleanse this place. Pour some jet fuel in here. Give it to me, Chewy. Who is this, people? This is contemporary. These are the magical papyri. This is one of those books that Paul the Apostle said, throw them away. Why? Because these are the basis for Judaism and Christianity. And what are we talking about here? I just want you to see who Hekate is. Go to the fourth line. She is the arche kaitelos. She is the beginning and the end. She is the Ionian mother. Are you ready? Do you want to see where all your Christianity came from? Hit us with another one. Who else is Hekate? Oh, God, look at this. Su mune onases. Now, this line right here, su mune onases. If I'm going to throw in the magical use of the Old Greek, I would say sumone wanases. Do you hear the digamma in there? It's important because these are incantations, people. The Christians, they're using incantations and hymns, right? Don't be surprised. It's not out of sorts. When you hear him, you think sitting in the pew, how great thou art, oh, right? No. You want to know what their hymns do? Paiderastea. You ever teach somebody? Whoo! Do you have apostles? He's got 12. Take it off, Jesus. Wash their feet. Give me the next one. You alone rule. Are you hearing Christianity? You should be hearing Christianity, but I'm sending it to you through the pagan worship. Are you ready? Give me that. Yeah. What is this? Oh, look at the very bottom line, people. Polo Onome, by the way, at the top. That's gorgeous, isn't it? Lady Babylon is back. What's another of her names? Domnomenea. Look at the very bottom. Domnomenea. Now, some of you may have heard some person trying to sell you mugs, maybe, talking about Domna Meneus, right? And who that is. Well, guess what? We're going back to her. Are you ready? You're going to see the Christians in a Eucharist, in an ancient Eucharist. You're going to see the Christians in an ancient Eucharist. You're going to be shocked at what they're doing. Right? Can you hear it? Okay, let's just go. Give me the last. Give me that. Yeah, go ahead. I want you to remember this name. Damnodamia. Damnodamia. She is that one who overcomes. We're going to meet her in the mystery. Give it to me. Oh, yeah. Do you want to pull it up? Nice. So remember, last couple of episodes, we've been talking about the mysteries. We've been talking about sucking blood. Do you know who this is that we're talking about? We're talking about she who consumes the blood. You know what she gets out of it? Life essence, baby. Why do you think she lives so long? Wait, what? Where are we? We're in antiquity with the first Christians. Okay? The first Christians. Here we are. Right? You mean we're talking about her? Yes, we're talking about her. Don't be surprised. Just watch what they do. We're going to go in like a Roman SWAT team. We're going to burst through the doors. Right? First we're going to knock and then boom. Then we're going in. Right? You got to have, come on, man, it's civilization. Right? But what we're going to do is we're going to raid the scene here. We're going to see what the Christians are doing. Are you ready? Right out of their own writings. And remember, these are the writings that are apocryphal. You know what that means? It means they were too nasty. It was too much. Just like the redaction of the Gospel of Mark. Some things you can't tell everybody. Some things got to remain secret. You didn't know that? Priesthoods keep secrets? I thought we'd all seen that by now. Especially the folks in Europe. Shout out to the folks in Europe, right? Yeah, very nice. Keep up the good work. We have a European cadre, and we're about to have a New Zealand, Australian cadre. And by the way, shout out to the Maori. Oh, son of a gun. I've been watching you people. You scare me. You scare me. I watched the people stand on one side, all Brits, and I watched the people on the other side. Maori. My God, man, run. You Brits got no hope, man. Look at them. Look at their faces, dude. These people are serious. I love this. Oh God, I can get another shield. You know what I mean? Yeah, more power to that soldiery. Oh, I love it. Give it to me. Give me the next one. People, who is this Hekate? In case you got here late to the party, we're talking about Hekate. And we're taking documents that are written at the same time that all these Gospels and all these Bible books are written. And what do they say? The very books that Paul, who is the first person to attempt to purge the movement, right? To purge the mystery. He does it by saying, you got to get rid of these sources, because watch what the Christians are doing. Who is this Hekate? Now, you're not going to know this. If you put on the facade, the makeup, and you like to strut around and talk about Hekate, maybe you dress like a goth, right? Maybe you know, which I'm not saying is a bad thing or anything. I'm just saying, maybe that's your level of participation. Let me school you. Look at her. Look at who is this? By the way, spank. That requires spanking, right? If that's you, you knew it was coming. You can't merchandise off Hekate. You know what I mean? And people are saying that, by the way. Did you know Almond doesn't take money for his YouTube channel? No, he doesn't. Why? Why? It's like those movie pirates. You know what I mean? Dude was a single dad. You know? Couldn't afford to take his kids there, dude. Right? Thank you. Thank you for the vision. I love it. Okay. Where are we going? Give me the next one. That one. This is who she is. Who is Hekate? You people didn't know this. Io-Ira. What does that mean? It's she who pours the poison. She who pours the poison. And why is that? Because Hekate is coming from those huntresses, right? The oldest cults, those Dianic, Black Sea, human sacrificing, organ eating, man scalping cults. Oh, God. If that isn't sexy, nothing is. If you don't think that's sexy, something is wrong, right? I don't care what side of the fence you're on. I don't care, right? You got the whole chromosome. I don't care. Everybody's in this pot, right? This is Hekate, said to be the mother of the Medea. It was through her as mother that the Savior would come. Do you understand? Do you understand? They created this rite in the Bronze Age, and the result was Medea. Isn't that gorgeous? Isn't that gorgeous? She who we have the first record for Christing of anywhere in antiquity. She's the first. Isn't that nice? Oh, God. You mean this was meant for a woman's mind? You mean, hang on. Do you mean the universe was written? Right? You didn't realize the universe was I don't know, you could call it a program, a novel, a poem, whatever. You didn't realize it was written by her, did you? Oh, God. Do you understand now the Savior and who she is? Now I'm going to show you the Christians worshiping her. And of course, it gets sexy. So, right, restrain, a little bit of restraint tonight, right? I don't want to just jump into this. This is a sacred act we're about to perform. So I want us to go into it with a little bit of, you know, a little bit of firmness, but at the same time, just a little bit of patience, a little time. We're not rushed. We're not rushed. Okay. Oh, Chewy, give it to me. It's all the clues. You know what I mean? It's like putting together a puzzle. Boom. Hit me with another puzzle piece. People, I want to take you back to Sparta, and I want to show you what Athenaeus says about Sparta. The warlike character of the dance proves it a Spartan invention. The Lacedaemonians are a warlike people, and not only do their sons learn by rote the imbateria, or songs of the battle charge, which are also called inoplia, or songs under arms, but in war, they themselves recite the poems of Catechesis from memory and move in time to them. We're told by Philochorus that after the Spartans had defeated the Messenians by the generalship of Catechesis, they made it the custom of their military expeditions that when the paean had been sung after supper, the songs of Catechesis should be given one by each man, the polemarch, to decide who sang the best. Right? And what does the winner get? Get some meat. Isn't that nice? What a reward. Right? Look, what are we digging up, people, here? Well, where do we go? I thought we were about to go see the Christians do it. We're going to the Grove of Mars. because that is where this all starts. It's where everything starts. Do you know what hangs in the grove of Mars? The fleece. And what's written on the fleece? The Medwa's song is written on the fleece. Do you know what we dancers do? Yeah. We dance the war god into existence. And you know, you can't get within 20 feet of that fleece without getting killed immediately by its guardian, who is one of the dragons. Right? Who are those dragons? Those are those guardians, those temple relic guardians. You have to kill them off if you want to take over the spot. Do you understand? All of this is coming. You mean the mystery comes from the grove of the god of war? Yes. Yes. Do you want to see how to bring it out? Why do you think we worship she who is the god of war? Wait, Athena? Yes, the Virgin. We're back to the Virgin. The Eucharist involves the Virgin because the mystery is all about the Virgin. It's her voice we protect. Isn't that fantastic? Isn't that fantastic? Oh, God. That is Hekate magic right there. It's Hekate. Yeah, feel it. Can you feel it? I did too, right? You know what I mean? Oh, God. This is good stuff. There'll be no getting of the goats tonight. Don't do it, Chewy. Give me the next one. It's too early. It's too early. Look, people, let me give you an example of this battle. Music. And where is this coming out of? It's coming out of the 7th and 6th centuries, right? This is BC. And this kind of song ends up the medium for shaping society. All of these people that I'm about to talk about, do you know where they get their ideas for war? They go to the oracles and they ask the oracles, and the oracles tell them what to do. The oracles tell him what to do. You remember when Lycurgus went from Sparta, and you know what the oracle told him? Imagine he walks in, he's been through all the ritual of cleansing, right? Gone through the proper rites. He's able to ask his question, right? What's Sparta's problem? And she looks right into his face and she says, greed. Your greed stains you. Isn't that fantastic? Imagine that. Where is that voice in the world today? That voice is no longer here. It's resting in the breasts of people out there, whose ancestors used a chemical rite to bring out that thumos, to bring out that passion. Through that voice. Oh, makes your chest warm, doesn't it? Makes your chest warm. Oh, God. All right, let's go. It's getting too, I need a fan, baby. It's getting too steamy. Tertius, give it to me. Get up here, you old dead Greek. Ryan, get up here. I'm just going to translate this quickly to you. If somebody wants to learn the art of combat, let them do amazing things. Don't let them stand at a distance when people are shooting the arrows. If the dude has a shield, make them stand in its way. Let the person stand face to face with their opponent. Right? When they're going to kill a person, let them put their foot against their foot. Let them put their what? Their shield against the other person's shield. Let them go crest to crest and helmet to helmet. Let them go chest to chest. Yeah. Hold on to that sword or that lance. Now, you don't get this when I translate it, but that's a song, and you hear the repetition, right? Guess why there's repetition? Because it is a song that facilitates marching, right? It's a song. The Greeks in the 7th and 6th centuries are developing meter as a state weapon. Do you understand? You can use song to bring out what is the potential of the person. Imagine that for a minute. Language. Do you know where libraries come from? I want to make I keep saying very basic things, and people are like, oh my God, that is crazy. Okay, let me say something. It's not crazy, it's just history. Do you know where libraries come from? They don't come from the Middle East. They come from Greece. Oh, you've got a few collections of tablets with grocery lists for what the king's got in his basement. You got a few of those, right? Libraries spring from the language that was the most developed by a league, the most developed by a mile. I promise you, libraries are the invention of the language. You need the requisite language to create the library. Do you understand? There's not much you can do, right? Go into your mud brick libraries, people. Oh, I'm sorry, they don't exist. Right? Go to a temple of the muse, and you'll find out where humanity bridged governance and song. Yeah, and it was in the heart, it turns out, of Spartan soldiers. Imagine that. Didn't they kick out Archilochus? Yes, because he said, throw away your shield. If you're going to die, it's better to, live and buy another shield, come back another day. Oh my God. Get out. Right? Imagine the guts it took. The same guy caused people to kill themselves with his poetry. Right? Isn't that great? When your poetry can make people insane, you know that the muse has touched you. Right? I love that. Oh, give me the next one. Let's give them some frightening stuff. Okay, people, I want you to hold on for a minute. This is from the Corpus Metacorum Graecorum. It is a giant corpus of edited Greek texts that are all about medicine. At least they're written by doctors. Yeah. So, for example, one of these by Philumus is all about poisonous, venomous or toxic creatures, right? And what their venoms can do and what they can be used for, what you counter them with, right? Antidotes. So this is one of the texts that's from this giant collection, right? And it's some author, let him fight about who it was. Doesn't matter to me. I want to see, what is the text saying? Oh my God. So somebody's quoting somebody else. They say Philarchus in the so-and-so book of his history, right? His investigations according to Arabion, right? What does he say? He says the woman's vagina is a spring of water from which, if somebody should Christ their feet, their genitalia, right, are going to be exercised, made stiff. So much so, I'm still translating, people, so much so, this stuff can't be reversed without great pain and therapy. Okay. All right. Did you hear what I said? Look at the third line down. You see the third line in and the third line down? Is this the third time I've done this? Christein. Do you see the verb, people, for Christing? Oh, it can't. Oh, it's preposterous. You flatus-filled ignoramus. Son of a... Do you see what happens? You see what happens, Timmy? When you don't do your homework, you can't make stupid statements. People will catch you, dummy. People, what's the difference? What's the difference between what I'm doing here and what is being done out there? What's the difference? We just go to the text. These people don't read these texts. Do you think anybody has read that medical text that I just gave you in the last 100 years? Absolutely not. The Germans who edited those texts professionally, they were good, man. They were good. The Germans in the 1910, 1920, 30, those German classical philologists. God, they were good editors, baby. They got text, man. They got text. They were reading stuff you and I haven't been privy to. Maybe that would explain some things about the development of certain things. Hoo-ha. Fantastic. That is climactic hoo-ha. Have you ever been in there and you get to that puffy hoo-ha and you're like, ah, yeah, you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. Give it to me. Look, people, did we get the one before? I think we got everything. Did we get that one too? Did we just get that one too? Yeah. Okay, so keep it there for a second. I just want people to realize what this thing just said. You Christ, your feet. Do you remember what Mary did to Jesus? What does this say happen when you Christ your feet? What are we looking for, by the way? Why are we at this party? We're at this party because her kolpos is a fountain. It's a sacred fountain. Did nobody see the sign? Okay. Right? Her kolpos is a sacred fountain. And we got to get things going. And how do we start? We start with the feet and Christing. And what happens when you Christ? Look at that fourth line. To aidoion. That person's parts become distended. That's what it says. Stretched out. And it doesn't go away. You got to give the person therapy. Right? Can be harmful. Right? It's a delicate operation we've got going here. You know what I mean, Osiris? Woo! Give me the next one. Give me the next one. You thought you were going to see it, right? You say, I paid $40 for this course, and I think I got taken to a... Yeah, you did. Get out of the back alley, right? Get out of the back alley. Look at what the texts are actually saying, right? And then you won't be able to say, why am I saying this? And the people out there who are watching, they're saying, preposterous. Why? Because they haven't read this stuff. They haven't read this in the original, right? Guaranteed that. Well, you and I can sit down with them, and in 5 minutes, I can show you. I can have them admitting to you that they don't read Greek. All right? Love it. Okay. By the way, we're going to talk about classes too. And some people are asking different things about getting into them and whatnot. So we need to address that. And standing up, the apostle did what? He sealed everybody. I'm taking you now to the Christian writings about, here is their Eucharist, people. Ready? I'm translating it to you. So getting up, the apostle sealed these people, right? And suddenly the voice, right, of the Lord, really, it literally says the Lord, right, appears to them by means of a voice, saying, peace to you, brah, right? Peace to you, brah. Yeah. But they only heard his voice, right? His form, they did not see. Why? Why didn't they see his form? And this is a carryover from last week, but I don't think that, I've opened it up as completely and as thoroughly as I should have. So it says literally, they didn't see his form. They're only hearing his voice. And why is it? Because not yet did they receive the empowering of that seal. Okay. What happens when they do? They're going to go into the communion. Watch what happens. So the apostle, he took some oil, right? And poured it out upon their heads. And what is this that we've seen? It's an oil that's a base for the application of drugs. Fantastic. We're halfway there. When you are performing the catechism, did you know you strip that boy down naked after you starved him for 2 weeks? Ooh, you starved this poor Justin Bieber for 2 weeks. I mean, P. Diddy thinks he had it by just giving everybody some kind of juice with, crazy, crazy drugs in it. And then everybody gets party on, right? Right. That is the sophistication. What has happened to the ancient mystery? What has happened to it? My God, man, keep your practices pure, right? If he'd have done it right, like the early Christians, he'd have starved Justin for 2 weeks. Yeah, he'd have starved him. Then he would have stripped him down. Go check the Catechesis, people, if you don't believe me. This is in Christian Catechesis. Then after what do you do with the boy after 2 weeks? Right, and the whole time you're indoctrinating him the whole time. Right, sin is bad, the flesh is bad. We've got to remove your demons. How do you remove a sex demon from Justin Bieber? I can show you what the Christians did. You strip him down and you oil him from the top of his head to the bottom of his feet. Yeah, and then what do? You get a priest who can summon the devil to offer the fire of temptation to the boy. Yeah. And when the boy, in the midst of the temptation, when the pleasure is at its maximum, if that boy can then rebuke the daimon, the sexual daimon, that boy will be saved forever. That boy is pure. And that's what the Christians said anyway. That boy is clean. Right? No stain of that demon. Do you see the level of training? Do you know why we don't talk about the mystery? Because when we do, the SWAT team shows up and we all end up in prison. Right? Jesus is saying for weeks before his stuff breaks, he's saying, don't scandalize me. Don't shh, don't talk about that. People are saying, stop touching children. He's like, don't talk about that. Right? You're going to scandalize me. He's got his 12 boys with him, and they're ending up in an upper room with him with no clothes on, washing their feet. Why do you think he's washing their feet? Did you think he had a bar of soap? Did you think he was going to slather it up and wash those little feety peeties? No, Jesus didn't do that. He washed them as they would in antiquity. And do you know what ended up happening? Those boys became taught. They became taught. That's what happens when you apply this stuff to your feet. Now, what kind of drugs specifically are they using? You can check it all out in various and sundry pharmacological authors. But they have aphrodisiacs all over the place. And you know what's funny? The word aphrodisiac is a Greek word. It's a Greek word. You think you have the word aphrodisiac in Hebrew, ancient Hebrew? No. Why? The tech level of language isn't up there, right? But don't worry, Latin's the same way. It's just a couple, Latin's, well, it's beyond where the Hebrew was, right? Because the Hebrew's nowhere, right? And people say, Ugaritic. Seriously, people? Where'd my sheep go? You got nothing. You got no evidence whatsoever, people. That's why you have to make up, the Montessori's make up a narrative to fool us all. That's what people think history was. You think it was Moses? He didn't friggin' exist. King David. Seriously? How much evidence is there? Zero. Dude did not exist. Nothing on the radar. Nothing. Did they make at least a mud brick hut? Oh, God. They piled up some rocks and made a way station at Megiddo. Oh, my God. Civilization. Bunch of lace dye. Bunch of pirates. Love it. Don't send me to Judea. That place is a wreck. I can't even use a restroom there. You don't even have restrooms, bro. Somebody dig me one up. Certainly the Romans at some time got so uncomfortable. They were like, oh my God, can somebody make some toilets around here? Right? Imagine that society. Right? What are you doing, Jesus, with Mary, who is carrying sex drugs, who is pardoned by the Pope later for carrying sex drugs? What are you doing with her? You want to see? Go back to the text. Go back to the text, Chewie. We only have a couple texts tonight. No. The big one that we had on there, because I didn't finish. Blow it up for me. And so the apostle, he goes through so he put on that base level of oil upon which they use other drugs. And what does it say? He both applied the oil and Christed them. Why is he doing that? Because that's how they're going to get kicked to the next level. You don't believe me? He Christed them. And he says, what? Come, holy name of Christ, name above names. Come, power of the highest. Come, eusplanchnia. Do you know what eusplanchnia is? The splanchna is the uterus. Wait, what? We've got uterus stuff going on. Did you not just see the colpos, the vagina? It is that dark harbor. That's where we're getting our drugs. Isn't that gorgeous? She makes them. Oh, God. Why'd you think the virgins are all getting pregnant? They're the children of God. Blow it up again. I've really got to see it. Let's finish. What does she do? She Christs some people again, right? And she's, the apostle. And the apostle starts going through this. Give us the power of the highest. Give us that chrism. Give us that highest Christing. And then what? What do they say? Come. Come who? Remember, this is the apostle whispering in your ear while you are going through the rite, emerging through just hearing voices to a phase where you can see the dead. And what is the dude saying in your ear? What kind of imprecations do they have? Come to us, mother of the good womb. Come, have intercourse with men. Have that masculine intercourse. Okay. Come, mystery, revealing what is hidden. Come, mother of the seven houses, in order that there may be a relief in the eighth house. Now, wait a minute. What's seventh house and eighth house? Well, who are we talking about, people? Do you remember the Ogdoad? Do you remember the eighth person that the apocalypse talks about? Who is that? They often call him the eighth man, right? Who is that master of the eighth house? Right? Okay. Who were the eight? They were the ones who fought the one and brought the one down. Okay, there's a lot of quantum physics there. I don't understand. That's how they talked about it. Do you love it? Okay, you're going to hear just a little bit of the astrology too. Just a little bit of astrology. Remember, these are magi we're dealing with, right? Remember the titles that they gave the apostles? Do you know what the earliest titles are for the apostles? Magician and drug user. Pharmake. Do you remember that? It's in the Apocrypha. That's what they call the apostles. If you are an apostle and you are being touched like this dude, it's because you're involved with drugs, man. You're involved with drugs, and you're probably going to tell me you're a Christ. Just like Thomas, the second Christ, to that primal Christ who is Jesus, who was arrested in a public park with a naked boy whose private parts were bandaged. Now, if you think that naked boy that was with Jesus was in a state of arousal, you would be correct. Do you see? There's no wall between the medicine and the words. There's no wall. It's a reality. The Christians are performing acts of sexuality in celebration of the woman who writes creation. Isn't that interesting? Let's see what happens. I think somebody's going to get pregnant. I think Mary's going to get pregnant. Don't you? She always does. She always does. Give me the next one. Give me the next one. I want you to look at a couple of phrases. He sealed them. The apostle sealed them. This is an operation, not something modern Christians are used to, whether they're Catholics or Protestants, right? It's an actual operation. I'm going to show you one of the longest Greek words I have ever seen, and it's got the seal as one of its roots, right? And what is this thing? We'll describe, look, just look at the definition. Lazy, long-haired fop with his rings and nasty nails. Do you see the power of Greek? You can make a crazy word, right, that we have to translate with an entire sentence to describe what's happening, right? I just want you to see that the seal is part of it. Well, where's the seal? Where's the seal in this? The translator here had to put rings because they don't know what the images are referring to. They don't know what that seal is actually doing. Look, one of their editors picked out something from the medical text, and what are the medical texts saying of the svragis, the seal? Oh, it's a medical application, which makes perfect sense because that's what magi do. That's what your pharmakos does. They're applying drugs. Jesus is applying drugs? Yes, to children on their private parts. Why is he doing that? For the sake of P. Diddy. Huh? There's profit in business. Profit in business. Let's watch what happens. Remember the guy, what is the medical application? Pastille, they translated this right here, pastille. Right? Look, I'm talking about the seal impression on the pastille. Right? And people don't even make the association, right? It's not there because it's not our language. Right? When you get down into it and you wallow around in it for a long enough time, you pick up things. You pick up things. When people tell you that they do Greek, they don't. Most of them don't. Unless you're talking to a classicist, they don't really do that. Right? But they're using it over you. And those people need severe reprimand because the devil hates your fraud. The devil hates your fraud more than anything. And what is this plane? It's a place where the devil gets to punish the fools who ignore natural justice. Oh, God. That's what it's all about. Read some of that Greek stuff, baby. It's written by Muse. Right? It's written by Muse. Okay, let's keep going. Let's go. Boom. Here we have, here's another for that seal that the apostles are applying to people. Here's a precise one, a specific medicinal earth, right? Certified. This is the Limnian earth. And Galen is going after this drug, right? It's a popular drug, right? It's made only by those priestesses, those Limnian priestesses. They have the knowledge of how to do it. And you have to know it if you're going to use it in your medicine or your magic, right? If you're going to make that person, you realize you can make that person fall for you. You can make somebody fall for you. Yeah. Wait, what? Yes. If you use the right drugs, you can cause somebody to forcefully enter that ecstatic, erotic love. Yeah. Wait a minute. That stuff can be manipulated. What do you think witches do? It's all those antidotes and dotes. My God, man, the medicine comes directly out of it because they're the ones who have all the pharmaceutical knowledge. Give me the next one. People, you love it. Here's that sfragistes. Who's a sfragistes? Look, they even have a word for somebody who does this stuff. It's the title of an Egyptian priest who sealed the victim before sacrifice. Wait a minute. Are we talking vampires again? We're talking blood. We're talking blood. Did you think people just did sacrifices because it's cool to watch something die? Oh my God. You got to read some of this stuff, people. It's going to open your eyes. You can be like, oh yeah, history is kind of like National Geographic, right? Kind of is like National Geographic. You know, you can eat innards, right? And people are like, what? Yeah, you people, you eat them all the time. You eat them all the time. I seen you eating livers, right? Right? What's the step? Step up to a human liver. Right? What's the difference? By the way, do you see the crazy in the air? Can you feel the static of the crazy? Let's pump it up a little bit. Let's get the eating, the cannibalism out there. Let's grab Hannibal and bring him back. Let's enter the crazy. Isn't it gorgeous what's going on? Watch the drama play out. Watch it play out. If we can crack Victorian backsides, we can win. Give it to me. What's the next one? You know what the biggest weakness of the people who want to give you a fairy tale about from the Bible? You know what their biggest weakness is? The actual text. Come, great chrism, right? This highest, this holy, highest, powerful Christ formula that's going to bring me to the fellowship of the men. And what is that? That is teleia. That is completion. That is completion. What is a mystery? It is something that brings you to completion. You become a talite. Do you understand me? So when I came home and my wife was standing there in this weird outfit, right, without any of her accoutrement, and she's, she looks terrible. She's all dirty. And I say, hey, why don't you take a bath and we'll do the conjugal thing? You know what she says? This is from, by the way, I'm just giving you the gospel or the Acts, right? What does the wife say? She says, no, I've been purged of my sex demon. Excuse me, dear? How'd you do that? The apostles of Jesus Christ showed me. And now I don't have sex with anyone except a Christ. Oh my God. Oh my God. Do you realize how mad that makes people? Do you realize how mad that makes people? That's why Christians get thrown out of every place they go. Right? They did this with the Pythia. Right? Paul did. And what did it get him? Got him thrown in prison. Give me the next one. Give me the next one. Violators. They had a saying. If you violate somebody sexually, the demons of the pagans will not infest them. Do you understand why priests are violating children in basements? Christian priests, do you understand why they're violating children? To drive away the demon, just like Jesus taught them. This is a reality of your monism. This is the reality. I know it's difficult. Okay, one more, and then we're going to get to a couple of things, a couple of phrases. And look, we're talking to everybody who's partaking in this Christian mystery. Who are they? Men and women. I'm translating, right? Young boys and young girls, right? Kids, virgins, slaves and free, right? Young and I forgot, Akamaya, young and old, right? Free and slaves. Here's what I want you to do. I am the apostle. I want you to flee from porneia. This porneia and this pleonexia, this greed, right? I want you to free from them and from the works of that uterus. Okay? The works of that uterus. I want you to run away from them. For in these three things, in these three heads are all lawlessness. Anomia. Remember what the Christians said? There is a mystery of anomia that is currently active. It's being performed. This is what they're talking about, right? With these three heads, you've got to treat this. Okay, are you ready? Now remember, these are the Christians telling this. And you remember what people do? They stop having sex, right, with their normal sex partner, right, and or partners. And what do? They end up with the apostles, purging demons sexually. What else do? They give you all their cash. It's part of it, right? Peter, James, and John, they're all collectors of the cash, right? They're not selling merch. They just say, give us all the goods or God will smite you. Do you understand how laced I work? Okay, Jesus Christ, it's hard to get through. Jesus Christ. Give me go ahead. Let me just continue translating. So all of these people, we've got to turn from these things, and he's going to show them how to do it, right? He says, but he wants to explain to them, what is porneia? Porneia rots the mind, right? Does this sound like a modern argument? Pornography rots the mind. And what else does it do? It darkens the eyes of the soul. Does this sound like an evangelical? It sounds like a modern evangelical. And it puts an obstacle in front of the body politic. And it makes people weak, giving them diseases, right? Making the body sick in all sorts of ways, right? Then he goes on to talk about what each of these things that's involved in the mystery is responsible for doing. Okay? This is your life, people. I am going to come to your home and I'm going to entice you to go somewhere with me. And I am going to administer to you a Eucharist, and we're going to purge your sex demon. Do you understand? Do you understand? How is this any different? Do things really change? Does the merchandising ever stop? Not really. Not really. Give me that last one. I just want to make sure there was no gems in there that I left out. He talks about what the effects of greed are on your mental state. And, tell me, what's the cure to this, apostle? The cure is giving all your money to the apostles. And that's what everybody does who gets pulled into it. Everybody does that. And the apostles then will distribute the wealth. Do you like that? Is that gangster or is that gangster? Yeah, that's really gangster. Look at the bottom line. What are we doing this all for? That Savior. We're doing it for her. Give me the next. Porn rots your brain. Here's not brain, it's mind. Porn rots your mind. What are they talking about? When you take that aphrodisiac, you open up that passageway for that demon to be confronted, to come out, to be able to give their power, right? This is what Christians do. they confront those demons and they gain power over them. Right? It's what the priest is giving to the child that he is assaulting, that is going to allow that child to never want that thing again. Do you understand? Purification. Purification. Give me the next one. Almost done. Darkens the eyes. That's what I heard some people. The evangelicals are into this now, right? They're talking about how porn changes your, right? What is porn? Right? All the pagans are standing around saying, what? Because all of their statues are what you would call porn. Yeah. All of their idols. Do you know what they all have? They all have breasts. Oh, God, they have gorgeous breasts. And these breasts on these idols, oh, my God. There's not a sign. There's not a sign of any sort of surgery. There's not a sign of any sort of alteration. It's pure, natural gorgeousness and gorgiosity. What about all the other parts? Have you seen Aphrodite's Calipygianus sculptures? Right? Have you seen them? The thing that you call porn, the Greeks just called art. There is a beauty to the naked nature of people. There's beauty to it. It's got a story to be told. And they did so in stone. And everybody looked at it. Wow. Oh, can I be part of this? Could you do one of those of me? Put me out there in my glory. Me. Right? Society forged by maenads who are poisoning and eating people. Think about it for a minute. Are you going to have something called pornography in a world generated by people who initiated each other with mind-altering drugs? No, you're not going to. Sexuality is a part of the Eucharist. You cannot detach the act of sexuality, the culmination, the climax, the bringing of vision, the exhibition of the voice. It's sacred. It's a part of nature. And it is the heart of the Christian Eucharist. Now, those of you who've been sitting around with the Bible, I know there's a lot of people who watch this just so they can attempt to refute what I'm saying. There's a lot of those of you in those shoes who are watching this who suddenly understand the whole feet thing. You suddenly get it. You see Jesus sitting there. You see Mary with the sex drugs. You see what's happening. You see a near contemporary text talking about what these drugs do, how to apply them. And what do? You Christ them. You Christ them. Jesus got Christed. Do you know what he was doing? Do you know what he was doing? He was coming to a point of arousal. And all those boys were saying, "What, this thing is expensive. What are you doing, Jesus?" Remember, he's the one who had been telling them, go spend time with eunuchs. If you can do it, boys, cut off your testicles. You didn't know? Oh my God, right? Go look at the Bible. Look at the speech in the gospel, right? Look at the speech. Kingdom of heaven's made up of those eunuch boys. You can't get in any other way. That's what he's telling the apostles, right? And what are they doing? They're growing up and they're perpetuating this operation. You mean the communion's about making money? The communion of Christianity has never been detached from money. Never. Throughout history. Direct connection. Money. My God, man, even the apostles are doing it, right? Here's the problem. Do you remember what the oracle told those Spartans? You're corrupt. You got that greed. That's what you need to deal with, right? We Christians, we know in antiquity, we know you're going to be purged of your passion. Don't you want to be purged? You get that itch. You got to fulfill it. You got to satisfy it. You got to bring that thing to culmination. You want to reach those stars, right? That explosion, right? They can make it so you don't. They can make it so you don't want money anymore. You just give it all to them. Do you understand? Joke's on us. Give me the next one. Oh, God. I think what I'm going to do is, look, please, God, show us the mystery. Show us the mystery. Enter into sexual activity, right? In that struggle of struggles. Give us that pleasantness, right? That greatest of greatest things. Come now, right? Show us those hidden beauties, right? Those things that are going to be made visible by what you're doing. Great holy dove. Do you remember who Jesus Christ saw when John the Baptist did his thing with him? Do you remember who he saw? There's a reason he saw her. Yeah, there's a reason. Look at the drugs. Did you know you can do that underwater too? They have ways of applying drugs that, okay, if you just think about it, it's simple. It's just the human body, right? You mean there was something on John? Oh God, stop. I can't go there anymore. Let's see. Let's finish off and see. Is there anything else dirty that they're doing? Yeah. Give me the big ones. Is there anything else dirty? Yeah. It says there, she made it so they could enter into intercourse, right? Now look at that. This is line 6. I just want you to look at line, what is it? No, yeah. Well, it's the 5 is there. I'm not quite sure. Maybe that's 15. Anyway, look where the 5 is, people, and go down one line and you see Eucharistia, right? Eucharistia. You see the Eucharist? I am not kidding. You know where he says that Eucharist sends them? It sends them into that sexual union. And how is he going to get them all there? The bread that he's dumping, he's soaking in the poison. And what does he do? He starts to give it to the women. You know what he says to them? He says the same thing you say with your communion. This is going to take away all of your sin. Do you know why? Because I'm Jesus Christ. I'm going to drug you and I'm going to expel your sexual demons. Okay. Do you know what the beauty of history is? The beauty of history is that she gets pregnant. Are those Christians mothers and daughters? Yes, they are. There's a lot of glorious, miraculous stuff going on. And there's a lot of just hard, cold, real sex selling and trafficking. Yeah. You can take somebody and you can put them into a place with drugs and sex. Surprised? Let's watch the drama play out, shall we? Let's watch those come forward, those apostles. Let's watch them come forward. The whole time, I'll be looking for the one that was with Jesus when he was arrested at 4 a.m. The one who was naked. The one who had a bandage on his private parts right before Jesus got arrested. Right before he got arrested. Yeah, it's Etruscan. It's Etruscan. There's 3 names on my head. They all have the same, it's all the same name, just in 3 different forms. One is ancient Greek, right? Like good old-fashioned Attic that you'd see. The other one is Mycenaean, much older Mycenaean. And the one on the back, yes, the one on the back is Etruscan. You didn't guess that one, did you? You didn't. They all say the same thing. Imagine that. Love it. Across centuries. Can you imagine that? Across centuries. What a beautiful, beautiful name. Okay. Give us, I think we have a couple more before that. Let's go down here. And that's it. Yeah. People, I want you to see. Oh, what do the Christians pray to happen? Right. Watch all the biblical scholars. There's no way you can fight this. Right? Come, wombs of the initiation. Wombs of the initiation. Those rites. Do you know what's sacred? The uterus. Because her parts are a fountain. Sorry if you didn't discover that, right? Should have paid more attention, man. That's what I was thinking about at the right appropriate age. Give me the next one. Boom. Come. Sexual communion with the masculine. All right. Again, feminine mystery here. I just want you to see for koinonia, right? We're talking about koinoneo, right? Sexual intercourse. It's not me making it up. Right? Why? I'm translating the things that are unmentionable. She establishes them visibly. Do you remember the communion? The people were in the rites. And they couldn't enter into the deeper level where you can see visibly the mystery. Right? Because they hadn't yet received the episeal. The Christing is necessary. Once all those other drugs are applied and you're starting to have your fit, you need that Christing in order to get to the point where the mystery is revealed. It's visible. That's what that said. Phanera. Visible. Okay. Do you understand, right? Everybody's here. I appreciate it. I appreciate the fact that you're seeing it. I want you to understand. I just showed you a text that lays out what the Eucharist is and boldly shows you drug and sex. Drugs and sex. Christianity, drugs and sex. It's why Jesus Christ is freaking arrested in a public park at 4 a.m. with a naked kid. Nice nails, Jesus. Okay. What I'm going to do now is we're going to switch. I'm going to jump into the Greek from Am and you, for those of you who are here for the language. For those of you who want to take a deeper dive. And I'm going to let the drill instructor tell you what's going on and what you can do. And we're going to talk about Unit 6 and Unit 7. Just get everybody caught up, right? So that Am and you TAs are at the same point, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll the exit because I want everybody who's going to step out now to be able to enjoy the subliminal brainwashing of the great Chewy. Hit it, Chewy.
Triple beams, elemental peace, darkness through dreams, dancing to the bank, take it to the river, with the water beast slither, scorpion and snake venom, Medulla, I send you to heaven, fractional distillation drip, Urania's rings grip. That good stuff is strong. Only take a little bit, it'll get right on top of you. You'll be seeing the craziness. Up in smoke, purple haziness. Doing my thing, driving down the lane. First come, first serve. Ka-chang lane. Tar black as your soul. From the bank, where did the children go? Jeepers creepers, that snake weed was strong. Vampirella, fly on.
Play it again, Chewy.
Triple beams, elemental peace. Darkness through dreams. Dancing to the bank. Take it to the river with the water beast slither. Scorpion and snake venom. Medulla, send you to heaven. Fractional distillation drip. Urania's rings grip. That good stuff is strong. Only take a little bit, it'll get right on top of you. You'll be seeing the craziness. Up in smoke, purple haziness. Doing my thing, driving down the lane. First come, first serve. Ka-chang lane. Tar black as your soul. From the bank, where did the children go? Jeepers creepers, that snake weed was strong. Vampirella, fly on.
Right. Where'd that go? Oh, God. Here it is. Fantastic. Here we go. Let's get on to it. Now, I've had a lot of requests from people who said, look, I missed it the first shot. I want to get into one of your courses for ancient Greek. That is exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to accommodate anybody who wants to be involved. Now, two things. For those of you out there who are studying the intensive text, you've been going through AU, you've been talking to TAs, doing exercises with TAs, and you want to jump in. There are a couple of you who I know can, right? If you think you're one of those people, I'm going to have a call next week, because this week I'm starting the Aussie and new, Kiwi courses, right? So I've got to stick with those. But there is coming a time, if you can get yourself through the exam that comes after Unit 7, I can pick you up. I can pick you up in the future. Okay. Now, for those of you who want to start off at the beginning, keep asking. I just want to do individual instruction with you. Hang in there, because there will come a class that I can open up to get people into it, right? To get people into it. So we're having outstanding results. Courses are going just great. People are learning. And the object is to get you the Greek, right? So that you can become proficient in yourself, and you can, write back on Lady Babylon and say, hey, have you considered this word in this verse? Right? Think about it, right? Lots of good stuff. One of my students the other day came up with an analysis of the name of Medea's Hecatic form, right? And Melinoe, and came up with what I think is probably the best etymology I've heard for it. So, and she's only been into it for what? Few months? My God, how the brain can grow under the influence of this Mother Greek. Okay, let's take you to chapter 6, unit 6. What are the things that you're going, right? This is where you take out your book, or you come back in the morning and when you got 30 minutes to study, right? This is the third declension. We're going to look. We looked at the first and the second declensions of nouns. Now we're going to look at the third. And I want you to notice the genitives look very different from their nominative precursors, right? So look at the first one, for example. The word for guardian, phulax, right? Look at its genitive form, phulakos, right? What happened? The stem of your noun, the root, the genuine root, will always be found in the genitive case. Okay, I want you to remember that. Your root is fulak with a kappa. That's your root, fulak, right? What do our endings look like? Look at the nominative, fulaks, genitive, fulakos, dative, fulaki, accusative, fulaka, right? Ignore that vocative for now, right? Just notice, okay, it's fulaks, but I'm not worried about that. I want my 4 cases down. Fulaks, fulakos, fulaki, fulaka. Look at the plurals. Fulakes, fulakon. Look at the switch. Accent gets dragged back closer to the butt end of that word because that omega has so much weight. Did you know the omega is the densest vowel? It draws all the light in the universe toward it. It swallows all sounds. Isn't that cool? Do you understand when he said, I am the Alpha and the Omega, what that meant? No, we don't. And why don't you? Because you've got to have this tool to get to that level, to get to that layer. That real dirt. Okay. Look at the plurals. Fulakes, fulakon, fulaksi, fulakas. All right. Look at the next to it. Goat. Let's do goat. Everybody loves goat, right? Oh, I didn't get my goat tonight. That gets my goat. I hate when that happens. For everybody who loves Penelope, here she is, Penelope. Remember, it's behind the cross that really matters, right? What is behind the cross? What does the cross cover? The cross of Jesus Christ covers up your sin, baby. That's why we've been drugging you and performing sexual acts on you. We apostles, right? Jesus was doing that stuff to us when we were kids, bro. Right? Thank you, Penelope, for showing us what the cross of Christ hides. Oh, there was Teddy. Did you get Teddy up there? Bring Teddy back up. Bring Teddy. Oh, I love it. Orpheus. Thank you, Amon. Oh, I thought it was Teddy saying. Okay. Who is that? That's Ms. Sank, 44. That 44th one, it was worth it, right? Love it. Okay, let's go back to the chapter. Okay, people, what do you have to do here? You have to read over these nouns and start to notice the patterns. Look, in the genitive, you've got the omicron sigma, and the dative, the iota, and the accusative, the alpha. Isn't that nice? If you just memorize these patterns, right? Ikes, igos, igi, iga. Right? Look, same endings, right? No problem. What is it in the plural? Igus, igon, ixi, igas. Right? Okay. Now, the book provides you with transitions. They show you what consonants will become what consonants, right? And that's great for you to look at. What I want you really to be doing in order to assimilate and use this language, I want you to have these forms in your brain. Look at elpis, the word for hope. Elpis, elpidos, elpidi, elpida. In the plural, elpides, elpidon, elpisi, elpidas. Hope. What is hope? Hope is a delusion. Hope is a delusion. You walk around in a delusive state. The Greeks wanted you to know this. You walk around in a constant state of delusion. Yeah. Oh, it's very hopeful. Right? Oh, she's very delusional. Right? Why? Because we embrace the song of the real. We embrace the song of the real. Right? You're not going to find any wounds on my back. You're not going to find any wounds on my back. They may chop my face all up, but you're not going to find any wounds on my back. Yeah. Do you hear the Spartan? Do you hear Tertius? Now, by the way, Tertius was actually Athenian. Yeah, no, they went to the oracle, the Spartans, those dummies. They sent an embassy to the oracle because they knew she's always right. And what does she tell them to do? She said, go to Athens and get an Athenian to lead you from now on. Right? And they did. They went and got Tertius. He was a school teacher. Can you believe that? Where do the Spartans go when they need help running their country? They go to a school teacher in Athens. You know why? Look on the Acropolis. Okay. Charis, charitos, chariti, charin. And then look at the plurals. Charites, chariton, charisi, charitas. Right? Charis. Charm. The last one, we've got a neuter, soma, somatos, somati, soma. Notice it's nominative and it's accusative are the same. Look at the plural, somata. All right, what do we get in English from this? Somatic. Psychosomatic is something that involves both your body, your soma, and your psyche. Right? Psychosomatic. People talk about psychosomatic illness. What about climax? Right? Mind, soul. Soul and body coming together. Can you imagine that? We were all told the body was bad. That's not why you're not supposed to have images of it. Right? Look at that. I'm telling you. I've seen a lot of ancient nude sculptures. Right? I can't see one that's bad. They're all freaking beautiful. Right? Why? Because that was the focus. Third declension nouns. What do we go to now? We go to the relative pronoun, right? People, just take a look. Take a look at the English that they give you. What is a relative pronoun? It's a little word, who or which, and it creates its own dependent clause. And when I say dependent clause, I just mean it hangs off of a different verb. One of these indicative verbs or these independent subjunctives, something like that. It's got to hang off of that. It's got to depend, right? It's got to depend. Not like those undergarments, right? Although I suppose those hang. Is that why they call those? They're dependers. Look at on those English examples on the bottom, people. This is your cheat. There's 4 of them. The first one is the nominative. Right? You're putting the relative pronoun in the nominative case. The second one, the relative pronoun, the word for who or which or whose or whom, that word is in the genitive case, whose. In the third line, that word is in the dative case, to or for whom. And the bottom one is in the accusative case, the person whom I kicked. See how whom is the direct object? The accusative direct object of that verb. Okay? Whatever it's doing in its own sentence, that's what its case is. Its gender and number are strictly based upon what its antecedent is. If it's what is an antecedent? Right now, I don't know about any of you, but I did not learn any grammar in grade school. Right? I learned I wanted to be with Mrs. Baker in the 4th grade. I learned that. Right? I didn't learn about nouns and pronouns and that kind of thing. It just wasn't on the radar. Right? Other things were on the radar. Things of beauty. Like Miss Baker. Shout out to Miss Baker. 4th grade. Woke me out of a deep sleep. Oh, God. At home, I was in a deep sleep. Her image brought me to a place of phantasmic just beauty. Thank you, Miss what? Oh, Chewy. Sorry. Chewy's like, hey, stop. Okay, let's keep going. Right? I can appreciate beauty. Can I? What is this? Pretty soon. Stephen King, I'm telling you. Here are the pronouns. These are your relative pronouns. Look, they all have rough breathings on them, people. I just want you to notice that. That's that tiny mark, if you haven't been paying attention, that looks like an open quote, right? A single open quote. Look, read these off in the masculine. Hos, hu, hoi, hon. What are they in the plural? Hoi, hon, hois, hus. What? They look just like the endings, right? From a second declension. What? Yeah, they do. Look at the feminine. They look just like the first declension. Look at the neuter. Again, like the second, but with a couple of slight tweaks, right? Ha, hu, hoi, ha. Which. Ha, which, but I mean plural. Which things. Right? Good. So in the nominative case, right, it's the subject of its dependent clause. In the genitive, it's possessive, whose. We translate that as. So the nominative we translate as who. Genitive will translate as whose. Dative is to or for whom. And accusative is whom. Good. Fantastic. Let's go. Next one. These are the essentials, people. Now, I've told you about the indicative in all different tenses, and we've looked at something called the subjunctive. We've seen it's used in purpose clauses. In order that we may go to the store, we're going to use the subjunctive mood in that case. In order that we might go to the store, we're going to use the optative. Here, I've got some subjunctives that are independent. They don't have to be in a purpose clause. They can stand by themselves as the main verb. And the first type is called the hortatory. And this is an example of it. Look at the Greek. Pau omenten machen. Let us stop the battle. Let's stop the battle. Let us do something. That's the hortatory subjunctive, right? That's one type of independent subjunctive. Give me the next one. The next type of the independent subjunctive is bam. Look at this. Oh, God. We're going to deliberate. We're going to ask questions. Right. We put our right to exactly. Right. That's what this subjunctive does. Pau omen. There's the subjunctive. Look at the omega in it. It's drawing all the sound into it. It's stifling all of the vowels around it, just sucking in their power, right? Pau maintain machen. Should we stop the battle? It's a deliberation. What do you guys think? Should we stop the battle? Use a subjunctive. Nice. Give me one. Let's see. Next one. And finally, the prohibitive subjunctive, the third kind of independent subjunctive. It's prohibiting you. Don't do something. May, pauseta. Look at that gorgeous aorist subjunctive. You know what that aorist has done? Look at it. Oh, God, I just want to touch it. I want to touch it. What has it done? It's lost its time. It no longer has a time. It's an aorist tense, but it doesn't have a time. It's only got an aspect in the subjunctive, right? Because we're not thinking about indicative time. We're thinking about potentiality, right? Something that's not actually. When you say, don't stop the battle, you're not actually stopping the battle. You didn't stop it in the past. You're not about to stop it in the future, right? The subjunctive there in the aorist is telling you this is something we're going to do once. And your perspective is going to be watching us do it. If I use the present, it's going to be your perspective of doing it, and it's going to be something that is over time, continuous, habitual. Yeah, it puts you in the perspective of the person doing it when you're in the present tense in these moods, right? Do not send the messenger, may pimp says. Oh God. Ton angelon. Look what it is. It's aorist. So it's like saying, don't send him this one time. Right now, pertinent to our circumstances. Do you see how much is in the Greek? It's exhausting to translate it because there is so much. It's like these people had some kind of, what were they eating? Was it some kind of vitamins in the mushrooms or something? Right? Mycenae, by the way, means mushroom town. Right? Perseus is out there licking mushrooms. Did you know that? Perseus mushroom liquor. This is for Perseus's bottom. You know it too. People know it, right? Uh, yeah. Carl Ruck knows it. Perseus licks mushrooms. Shame on you. Right? If you catch somebody out in the field late at night licking mushrooms, that dude is a son of God. Yeah, love it. Love it. Okay, hit it. There's too much laughter. We have to bring the people back to the joy of, no, give it to me. Blow it up. No, nothing up here. Ikes, Igos, goat, right? Just look at some of the vocabulary, people. Look at some of the vocabulary. Geron, gerontos, old man, geron. Think of gerontology. Gerontology, right? That's the care of old people, right? What is a nome? It's an opinion. What is something that is Danos? Beautiful three termination adjective, right? Fearsome. You know what's fearsome? Circe. That's the title they give to Circe. Why? Because she's so smart. Can you believe the Greeks had a word for the fear that you feel when a woman is really, really smart? Yeah. Right? You know, there's going to be trickery. There's going to be manipulation. The universe, you know, they can manipulate these elements, you realize. Right? You may get Christed. Next thing you know, you wake up and your gonads are gone. Congratulations. You've entered the kingdom of heaven. Isn't that gorgeous? The kingdom of heaven. You can't come this way, Jesus says, and everybody's like, huh? Right? Unless you come through this gate, you're doomed. Do you know why apostles do what they do? It's how they got my wife. Right? That's how they got my wife. Those dirty apostles. Is anybody turning this in? Is anybody talking to the Roman authorities, Chewy? Yeah, they are. No, they are. They're arresting them and stuff like that. Right? They're getting for incest, believe it or not, because that's one of the crimes that Christians could abide and could promote. The Romans were like, nope, right? When things go south, you end up with people doing things to their relatives, right? Everybody said that about Nero, right? What was the sign? What was the first sign that it went south, dude? When your sisters start to look attractive, when your brothers could possibly be partners, you know, come on, man. This is civilization, dude. We make toilets and streets, right? Come on. Get that stuff together. All right. I'm telling you, when they go culty, they go all the way. I just wanted to go through a few terms with you. I just want you to see vocabulary. I want you to read through it just like that. Look, what else do we have to learn now in the seventh? In the seventh unit. Here we're talking about the aorist middle. The seventh is all about middle, the middle voice. What, pray tell, is the middle voice? Okay, get ready for this, people, because you don't have this in English. You don't have this option in English. You can take a verb. You can make that verb active. You can make it passive, or you can make it somewhere between that we'll call middle. And what does that mean? Active. All right. I kick the ball. Passive. The ball is kicked by me. Middle. Are you ready? This is not English. I do something because it is to my advantage to do so. Okay. I perform an action, or I am in a state of being because it is to my advantage to be there. Wait a minute. What? You can do that with verbs? Yeah, no problem. And here they're giving you those middles. They're going to look like passives. Look at the aorist middle. Amen, o, ato, amith, aste, anto. Memorize it. Right? Aorist middle. Amen, o auto, ameth, aste, anto. How about the aorist subjunctive middle? Oh my, atai, ometh, aste, ontai. You say, wait a minute, I already know these endings, right? And this is a subjunctive. So look at the vowels. The vowels are long. When you hear that as music, you understand you're in a world of potentiality. Do you understand? Ancient Greek is a musical language. It is the only one to reach its level of maturity. No other language has come to this level. Now, I can speak. I can say that because just based on the fact alone of how many unique words there are and how many ancient sources talk about the special nature of Greek, right? I mean, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. You know where we get grammarians? There's the people who studied Greek, ancient Greek, right? Who were living then. That's where we get grammarians from, right? Why? Because Mother Greek is hugely, hugely powerful. You saw a word tonight. You know, God, you can reach out into the ether and you can make words. And that's what people are doing. For years, classicists have said, hey, why does ancient Greek have so many hapax legomena, these one single occurrences? It must just be, it's due to, fate or chance. We just don't have this word preserved anywhere else. You mean we have hundreds of millions and we don't have this one more than once? Why is that? It's not due to chance. It's due to the fact that Mother Greek gave her users, people who had her as their operating system, right? She gave them the capacity to create. Right? So all of these ancient authors, they're coming up with their own words, not because that word's not there. It doesn't appear once, only because that's the only reference we have to. It's because that person invented it. They coined the word. How often are we coining words in English? Yeah. And what do we use? We use Greek roots anyway. How original are we as language? I'm sorry. People, English is for bog striding. Bog striding. That's it. You can walk in a bog. Enjoy it. Give me the next one. Here is the subjunctive middle, right? Notice the endings are oh my AAtai, right? My saitai, methus the untai. It's the same endings. You've already had them. Go to the next one. What about the optative middle? Right? The aorist middle. And why are we dealing with the aorist? Because the passive on the aorist side is the sixth principal part. It's got its own principal part. We're working from the third principal part. That's the aorist. And what does their middle look like, right? When you are an aorist optative. What is that sign of the optative? It's the iota. When you jam an iota into something, right? No, I'm not saying iota. Right? I guess I am. Maybe. Do you have Yoda somewhere? Yoda. Wait, what is this? Ancient Greek. Oh, other people, thank you, Marie. Other people have said this. Ancient Greek speaks like Yoda. It does. That's nice. Right? Beautiful. Yeah, it does. It does. And unfortunately, that's partially because we have to translate it into a stupid language. Right? We have to translate it into a stupid language. Maria, if we could translate the Greek without actually translating it, if you could hear the original, a lot of what you're perceiving as Yoda-esque talk would go away. It's like interference. It's a part of our translation. Right? Not only do you lose information when you translate because you work toward entropy, but also you create interference, kind of a static, So what is the remedy to that? Learn the Greek, start exposing yourself to the text, and you will reprogram your brain, right? You'll be functioning much higher level. Can you imagine coming up with millions of words? Oh my God. Oh my God. How many do you use during the day? I don't know, maybe 25,000. 25,000. Imagine that for a minute. Our universe is 25,000 words. And what is beyond us? Millions of stars. Oh, God. I want to go there. I want to go to every one of them. You know what I mean? I want to go to every one of them. Give it to me. Next one. What else do we need? Here are the endings. I mean, io, ito for that aorist optative middle. Imith, is the einto. It's still the main soto method, the unto endings. Right? Good. No problem. No problem. Now, here's the trick, and this is the cheat for Unit 7, in my opinion. These are the middle verbs. Right? What happens when you take a verb out of the active and put it into the middle? You're now shifting to the emphasis of doing something for your own sake. Look at the specific examples. We've got archo, right? Archo meaning to rule. What is it when you make it middle? Archomai. And it means to begin. To rule for your advantage advantage is to start something. Okay, again, a lot of these times you got to take off your shoes and you got to put on their sandals. You got to feel, right? You got to feel, and you're going to feel a lot of agriculture. You're going to feel goats, man. I'm so tired of reading about goats and what goats smell like, right? Right? No offense, but there's a lot of that. Grapho, to write. What about in the middle? Grapho mind. Look at the bottom. Indict. What do you do when you write somebody up for your own well-being? You indict them. Who invented courts, juries? Who invented the legal system that you so enjoy? Yeah, Athena did, bonehead. The great virgin. Why do you think we've got a giant statue of her? The topmost point in the biggest temple. Because she brought justice. Your system didn't evolve from any other culture. The thing that you so cherish is justice, I don't care where you are, right? We'll say west of the mud brick. When you get into civilization, the soul of civilization is that virgin. And why? Because she brings us justice. We protect her, right? We protect her. If you're not protecting virgins, how can you understand democracy? Do you see how they're thinking? Okay, give us back to that chart. Give us back to that chart, Chewy. That last one that we were having there. Boom. Here's the transition from active to middle. Look at thuo. To me, this one is very obvious. Look at, this one's like, it really shows you what the middle voice does. Thuo, sacrifice. I sacrifice. Thuomai, I consult the gods. Do you see? I sacrifice for myself. And that word sacrifice, thuo, is coming through of burn, to burn. When you thuo, you burn something. What is the thing you're burning? It's the thing you're breathing in. And why are you breathing in? So you can talk to the gods. Right? Do you understand? This is anthropology. It's just anthropology. You see how much anthropology is in the language? And what do those Bible scholars not have? They don't have any of this. They have interlinear translations. That's all they've got. And they memorize the stupid things the generation before theirs vomited out. Right? They never see this. They never get down to the dirt. Right? They're always in this haze. Okay, that's the difference between the active and the middle. Look at that chart. Take a look at how the verbs transition from active to middle. Finally, we've got two types of independent optatives. That is when you can have an optative standing as your main verb. When you can have a mood, the optative mood as your main verb, you're cool. They're independent optatives. The first is the optative of wish. Look at the examples. May we stop the battle. Right? May we stop the battle. Do you hear how that's a wish? That's not we are stopping the battle, or we stopped the battle yesterday, or we will stop the battle tomorrow. That's all the indicative mood. This is an independent optative, right? May we do it? Doesn't say we're doing it. It says, wishful thinking is that we're going to do it. Love it. Give me the next one. What's the other type of independent optative? Oh, God. The potential optative. I want you to memorize right now. You see this example? We've got optatives, one in the present and one in the aorist. That's what's in the brackets, right? And what do we have after it? On. You've got to have an on, people, for that potential. Now, am I going to tell you that in the future when we're coming across text where you see it's not there? No, I'm not going to worry about that now. I want you to think to yourself, every time you see that on, you're going to have a potential optative. Here's the problem. From context, you're going to have to determine how to translate it appropriately, because it can be may, might, could, or would. May, might, could, or would. Potential optative. I may do something, I might do something, I could do something, I would do something. And you're going to have to tell from context which one of those is appropriate in English. Right? Right? Do you hear how plodding your English is? Greeks don't have to worry about this. Right? You do in English, though, because you got to shift. It's very plodding, like you're stupid. I think we're going to discover in the future, that our generation were stupid, right? Something happened. They were really smart. Classical antiquity, they were going so far. They were right on the verge of freaking computers, dude. And do you know what happened? They hit the church and everybody went stupid. Look, how do you know that, chief scientist? Oh, we know it because we analyzed their language. And let me tell you something. I am a speaker of English from my very youth. And I have to admit, English is dumb compared to Greek. So as you're working out with your Greek, the more you're working out, please realize it is sweaty. You're going to sweat and bleed in this process. You're going to want to walk away and you're going to want to come back, because that passion, that dope, the stuff that's in the language that it opens up and shows you, oh my God, it's pure dope. You'll want it, right? You want Mama Greek. We all do. Give it to me. Here's a few vocabulary. Here's a few vocabulary words. Let's just roll this up. Ice-cross. What is something that's ice-cross? Right? It's something that you don't want, because people are going to be watching you and you don't want it all over you like a pollutant. It's something that's ugly or shameful. Ice-cross. How about gramma? What's a gramma? It's a letter. Look at that letter. If you put it in the plural, tagrammata, you can be talking about documents, written things, lettered things. Who are the people who came up with the concept? Who are the people who came up with the concept of grammar and letters and libraries? Mother Greek. You see, the beauty only comes after she is visible. Do you understand the mystery? Do you understand the logos? You get it? Okay. Here's more vocabulary. There's a nice klepto. Don't be a klepto. Don't steal stuff. Right? Okay. Study this vocabulary. Take me down, Shuey. Here's what I want to do. I want to say, look, people, we've gone through very rapidly units 1 through 7. There is an exam waiting for us to take to tell us, are we ready? Are we ready to move forward? Right? When I have personal attention and I can have between 4 and 8 people in a class and I can talk to them, I can do the testing and I can tell them, up on your toe, ballerina, right? I can tell them that. With those of you who are out there who feel like you're swimming in this giant ocean and you're following along in the text, you're trying to follow my cues, you try to do some exercises, you may go to the TAs on Saturday. And please, everybody take advantage of our TAs. Our TAs are doing a fantastic job. I heard a student step forward the other day and say something about Nancy, just the incredible job that she does and how much he enjoys working with her because what a great teacher she is, right? I'm telling you, AU employs without any salary numerous people who are assisting you in coming to a place where you can learn ancient Greek and use it. Fantastic. Oh, Old Boy. Shout out to Old Boy. Old Boy is coming up with another documentary about the purple. I think he's taking on the purple. No, Pelasgians, which means purple anyway, but okay, cool. The Pelasgoi, right? Love it. Everybody, please watch it. Old Boy does fantastic work, and it's brief. It's not like me, long-winded. It's like brief. It's very moody. You know what I mean? And on comes Old Boy, and he's got that commanding presence. You know what I mean? I would pit Old Boy against a Maori warrior. You know what I mean? Wouldn't that be wonderful to watch? Right? Imagine that struggle, that contest. Yes. Nancy says, thank you. Take advantage of these TAs. Take advantage. By the way, it's called rugby. I'm not inventing this like some Incan overlord. No. Right? No. This is rugby. Right? Is anybody? I was exposed to rugby. Whew. Let me tell you something. Right? Those Kiwi. Right? When it comes to rugby, no, I'm not playing. No, you know what? I'm going to watch you people do it. I love it, by the way. I love it. I wish we could get that Hekate thing going. Give me the that was we're out, people. Thank you for coming tonight. Right? For all 666 people who are pushing themselves forward in the Greek. Please keep pushing. I may be able to get you into a class, right? Keep it up. Keep working. Forge ahead. I've got some couple of things coming up, projects that the congregation is I think is going to be pleased with, and I'm proud to be able to have the opportunity. So thank you for coming tonight. Please realize that in the Christian rite, we are bringing her. We are bringing the Cora, right? And appreciate where it all comes from. Hail Satan.
Triple beams, elemental peace, darkness through dreams, dancing to the bank, take it to the river, with the water beast slither, scorpion and snake venom, medulla send you to heaven, fractional distillation drip, Urania's rings grip, that good stuff is strong, only take a little bit, it'll get right on top of you, you'll be seeing the craziness, up in smoke, purple haziness, doing my thing, driving down the lane, first come, first serve, ka-chang lane, tar black as your soul, from the bank, where did the children go? Jeepers creepers, that snakeweed was strong, Vampirella fly on.